Were you able to solve it? If not, don't sweat. Let's walk through one potential solution. Okay, let me show you my solution in the getDevices.py script. I'm importing requests again, but also the getToken function from the authToken module we wrote in the previous demo. This recycling of code will allow us to focus on the task at hand. Jumping into the main function, the first thing we do is request an access token. After that, I declare the API path and required headers. Now we have two headers, content type and XAuth token. Remember, all future API calls will use this token and not the username password pair. Next, I send an HTTP GET request targeting the same URL we tested with Postman and curl to get a list of network devices. I don't expect anyone to remember what that complex JSON structure looks like, so I'm adding a bit of temporary code here. This will allow us to print the HTTP response as JSON in a clean way using the json.dumpString or dumps function. As a side note, you can put multiple lines of code on a single line using semicolon, but this is only appropriate when using debugging techniques. Let's run this code and see what we get. I scrolled up so we can see the top of the JSON structure, which is often important to learn how the data is formed. In this case, we have a dictionary with a key named response, which has a list as its value. Therefore, we should be able to access this data by using the JSON function on the response object, then asking for the value at the response key, as shown in orange. We can see tons of information for this device, but we only want the management IP address and ID. Here's an example of the management IP address and the unique ID, which is a unique string representing this device. I've updated our code behind the scenes to account for this, so let's check out those changes. Keep in mind that when we run this, the output will change regularly since there are people from all over the world using this public sandbox, but this code will function correctly no matter how many devices there are. The for loop steps over all dictionaries in the response list, then extracts the ID and management IP into a single line of text. This code isn't HTTP or API specific, just basic Python loops and data structures. If the request fails for any reason, I print out the status code and the error message, which might help us troubleshoot later. Let's test out this code. As expected, we get one line of summarized output for each device in the list returned by DNA Center. Looks like there's only one device now, but that's going to change very soon. To recap how we did this, we first issued an HTTP post to get an access token using HTTP basic auth. Then we used that token in an HTTP GET request to collect a list of DNA Center devices. We can run this code as many times as we want with no human interaction needed. This is the power of APIs and automation in general. Coming up next, we'll explore more complex API interactions.